you're aware of the landlocked grades. Let's get into the grades here on S&L with Landry Locker and Cody Stutes. All right, so the Texans get the dub. Let's start with the quarterback. Look, I know that Stutes said that, and not wrongfully, that this was C.J. Stroud's one of his better games of the year. I don't disagree, but I still hold C.J. Stroud to a very high standard, regardless of what we've seen this year. I still hold C.J. Stroud to a standard where if Tank Dell's that wide open, get it to him probably a little bit quicker, and don't put as much air on it. And some of the other mistakes that C.J. Stroud made. So I actually gave C.J. Stroud a C. Despite this being one of his better performances, I actually gave C.J. Stroud a C. Did not think he was great. And unlike the offensive line, which I've kind of adjusted, they're now on pass fail or complete incomplete when it comes to grades. I still hold C.J. Stroud to the honor roll standard. And based on that, I'm giving C.J. Stroud a C. And I think C.J. Stroud honor roll standard.
Honor roll. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. What did I say?
You kind of slammed both the words together for honor roll, and I didn't know what that meant.
No, honor roll. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Not on the honor roll. You can tell with that. But yes, I give C.J. Stroud a C, and we will see what C.J. Stroud does after the bye week, and if perhaps there's a recharge, and we see him perform up to the standard that he has set, because we expect so much from him. So I'm giving him a C. Running backs, A+, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, A+. He needs to ice up. I think some of those runs look like it was all Joe. I know that the offensive line got the game ball from old D'Amico yesterday. But Joe Mixon yesterday, they do not win that game without Joe Mixon. They are not where they're at without Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon, whatever the hell you need to do, ice up. Let's have him ready for the playoffs. Wrap up that division as soon as possible, because you have no hope of making a run without that dude doing what he do. A+, Joe Mixon. I don't even need to look at the rest of the running backs. Joe Mixon, if this was a group project, he basically did all the work. He went up there, he presented it to the class, and he knocked it out of the park. A+, Joe Mixon.
Great job by the group that is the running backs. Joe Mixon, Daria Gumbawale, Damian Pierce, you all get A+ on the back of Joe Mixon's great work.
Now, in the chat, shout out to all the S&L folks that are with us here, and locker room subscribers as well. I think they kind of summarized this. They said Nico Collins gets an A, the rest of the receivers get an F. So I like where your head's at. We're going to meet in the middle. Nico Collins, he did his thing. Nico Collins, 119 yards on 8 receptions. The rest of the wide receivers combined, 3 catches for 39 yards. And Tank Dell, in fairness, was open for that touchdown. CJ kind of missed him. Who knows whether he catches it or not. He's been dropping passes. Dell with 1 catch for 23 yards. His production has been really, really, really mediocre this season. There may be a lot of factors, but it's been very, very mediocre. There's reason to believe that perhaps these receivers are not getting open. So it's Nico and everyone else. I'm going to give the receivers a C+. Nico Collins carrying the receivers, the rest of them not doing much. So the wide receivers as a group, C+. Tight ends, Dalton Schultz. Most production we've seen out of Dalton Schultz. Most targets in a game at 7. Tied his season high in receptions with 5. Second most receiving yards, 61. First touchdown of the season. The only negative is he does not need to be trying to hurdle anyone. That's not a good look for him. I thought he broke his leg. I actually thought he died.
I thought he broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
Because he immediately was grabbing his shoulder when he was on the ground, and then the way he came down with the defender, I thought he broke his collarbone.
It also looked like he ripped his leg. Like, just don't do that, Dalton. It's not. Don't do that. And then Cade Stover, just kind of there. The offsides penalty that Cade Stover had. I mean, come on. Like, you lined up offsides. I can't remember the last time I saw a referee touch his hips and point in the direction of the offense. Like, I don't know that I've seen that all year. Oh yeah, I saw it with the Texans against the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm going to give them a B. The blocking, I'm not going to sit here and act like I watched the all 22 and broke down the tape, but there are a lot of whiffs on the blocking when it comes to the tight ends, and they're asked to do some stuff. But Dalton Schultz, the clear number 2 receiving option for CJ Stroud, his best game of the year when you balance it all out in that aspect. Let's give the tight ends a B.
Feels fair. I mean, Kate Stover lining up offsides is like spelling your name wrong on the test.
Offensive line, I know D'Amico Ryans gave him a game ball. I'll be honest, I thought Joe Mixon a lot of the runs were Mixon. They were good. The pressure rate was as low as it's been all season long. There weren't like a lot of insane mistakes. I know that Tunsil got beat by Allen, which kind of happens. I think he beat him 3 times last year when Tunsil was banged up. I'm going to give them a complete. They're not in the letter grade. If you've been following this, they're in the pass fail. So they are in the complete. And if you see this handwriting, this is Shaq Mason writing his grade on the chalkboard right now. So there you go.
You write it with a mouse next time.
No, I think it. No. Come on. Now you just blew the cover that you're the one writing this. I thought we were having some fun here, Shaq. Offensive line complete. D-line. We didn't see the pressure from the edge as much. They did hold the Jags, though, and I thought this was kind of telling because if you're just watching the game, you would have thought Jacksonville was running the ball much more effectively than they were. Moose Johnson actually praised Doug Peterson for the job they did on the ground. They had 97 yards. I mean,
like most of them came on that one drive after Trevor Lawrence got his egg scrambled.
Yeah, they committed to the run a little bit there. It is interesting, like, why do they not run the ball a little bit more when they got the long-haired dude back there? But it is what it is. I still gave the D-line a B. I didn't think it was terrible. I still gave them a B. I thought it was solid enough. There weren't, like, significant mistakes. Maybe Mac Jones had more time than you would like, but, hey, charge it to the game. I gave the D-line a B. So is that too generous? Am I being are they my teacher's pets? It's possible that, you know what? The D-line might be my teacher's pets. Like, I don't know if they deserve that B or not, but you know what? You guys have been so great all year that I'm just going to give you a B.
Okay, that's fair.
Linebackers, F. Actually, I'll give the linebackers a D. I'll give them a D. I thought that the performance by Neville Hewitt was fine. He had him and To'o both had 8 tackles. They weren't bad. But when Azeez Al-Shire gets ejected and the scene broke out, we're just going to have to give it a D. Can't have that. So I'll give them a D. And I also thought there was a little bit of inconsistency from them. So we'll give the linebackers a D. Defensive backs, C. Gonna give them a C. Derek Stingley, still great. Jalen Petrie, obviously missed. Mac Jones, 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not great. This is a scary, scary, scary area for this football team right now at DB, where there's a snowball effect with Petrie out. I think Jimmy Ward's good in that nickel role, but there's a snowball effect back there. It's a scary thought to think about what that's going to look like when you start facing really good teams for the remainder of the season and potentially in the playoffs. DBs get a C. Not amazing. Special teams, A. Special teams get an A. Fairbairn didn't miss a field goal. Tommy Townsend actually punted well. Probably should have down one in the 5, but Chris Boyd, I think he lost it in the sun. Man, those shadows in that field, they don't even need an indoor stadium like Jerry World to have those shadows. Chris Boyd kind of lost it. Chris Boyd's been great on special teams. So that kind of happens. He's always hustling. And you saw Tommy kind of like, man, should have had that. But I thought the special teams, they get an A. Devin Duvernay also kept in check for the most part. He's one of the better kick returners in the league. No kick returns for the Texans, no opportunity. But there was also something else on special teams that I think kind of got me a little bit excited. We had the longest punt return of the day for 14 yards from Tank Dell. We talk about Tank Dell's receiving or lack thereof. That left me wanting a little bit more. I'm not going to lie. The Tank Dell punt return, I don't know if they were just thinking, hey, you're in Florida, your family's here, we're not getting you involved in offense. Let's let you go out there in front of your family and friends and return a punt. I don't know. But I found myself wanting a little bit more Tank Dell punt returning when I saw that one punt return. Coaching. Let's give the coaching a C. Coaching is a C. The offensive game plan was fine. The run wasn't forced. The defensive game plan was fine. The special teams were good. However, and this is just fairness, whenever your hand-picked team captain that plays your position, that is supposed to be a symbol of what Texans football is and all about, puts on the display that Azeez Al-Shire put on. I'm not trying to be Moose Johnston. It kind of falls on the coach. So I'm going to go ahead and give the coaches a C. Those are the landlock week 13 grades for the Houston Texans as they head into the bye week and ice up for the Miami Dolphins in the tough stretch that we've been talking about for a long, long time.